Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This year, the Finance Committee has taken unparalleled action on prescription drug access and affordability. Our bipartisan PBM reform legislation would cut patient costs at the pharmacy counter, strengthen provider choice for seniors across the country, and reverse warped incentives that currently favor higher-priced medications. Our policies would accomplish all of this and more while reducing the federal deficit. Taxpayers, consumers, and community pharmacies deserve to see these bills passed by the full Congress and delivered to the President's desk as quickly as possible. For patients with chronic conditions, as well as independent pharmacies at risk of potential closure, inaction is not an option. As our PBM process has shown, bipartisan, consensus-based, and market-driven policymaking can address a wide range of challenges facing seniors and working families. In that same spirit of exploring effective legislative solutions, today we turn to another issue harming the health and finances of Americans in every state: the surge in drug shortages. For treatments targeting any number of conditions, from pediatric cancer to mental health ailments, our ability to prevent and resolve shortages can mean the difference between life and death. To develop meaningful policy improvements to reverse the current rise in drug shortages, however, we first need to understand and examine the economic drivers, with a focus on federal programs within our committee's jurisdiction. While high-priced medications have received outsized attention during prescription drug discussions in Congress, shortages disproportionately affect low-cost therapeutics, which operate in a largely different and increasingly challenging economic environment. In fact, 84% of shortages occur in generic drugs, and 56% of products in shortages have unit prices below $1. Given that generics comprise roughly 9 in every 10 prescriptions filled across the United States, these shortages can inflict drastic harm on massive populations of Americans. The average shortage affects at least 500,000 consumers, forcing them to scramble for viable alternatives or else forego treatment entirely. As experts and officials have broadly affirmed, the structure of the generic market incentivizes a proverbial race to the bottom on pricing. Since 2016, generics have seen price erosion in excess of 50%. The razor-thin margins resulting from these dynamics trigger a host of dire consequences, from discouraging quality investments to spurring widespread outsourcing, including to China. Moreover, the generic drug maker exit rate currently exceeds the rate of entry, and upwards of 40% of generic medication markets are supplied by a single manufacturer. Rather than reduce shortage risks, unfortunately, a number of government policies make them even more pervasive and worse. Medicaid's inflation-based rebates, for instance, can trigger massive uncapped losses on even low-cost generics, in addition to requiring literal penny pricing under 340B. These and other price control policies warrant serious scrutiny in the context of generic products, especially for sterile injectables, which carry high production costs and offer minimal return. More broadly, our reimbursement systems, including under Medicare, offer little opportunity or incentive for drug makers to compete on dimensions other than price, such as reliability and resiliency. The House Energy and Commerce Committee's comprehensive work on this issue thus far is welcome. Enacting effective legislation will necessitate bipartisan and bicameral collaboration. The Finance Committee can build on our strong track record of solutions-oriented policymaking to address the rash of drug shortages afflicting families across the country. Mr. Chairman, before I conclude, I'd like to ask unanimous consent to enter a statement from the Community Oncology Alliance into the record.
Without objection, so ordered.
This statement highlights the grave risks posed by shortages for those seeking cancer care. With that, thank you to our witnesses for being here today, and thank you, Mr. Chairman.